Let's do that in slow motion, but notice the accents underneath each of the first notes of a pattern. It's a 4-note pattern. And of course, the idea behind arpeggios Good morning. I'm Jerry Nelson, and welcome back to my studio. We're in Denver, Colorado, and today I'm so excited to share with you some thoughts that I have about arpeggios. And I know that composers like to include a lot of arpeggios in their writing. Tchaikovsky, for example. He uses them quite freely, but I think it's mostly people who are improvisers and they want to have some way to fill up the holes at the end of a phrase. And rather than just sit on that last chord, it makes sense to fill up that space. I've got a couple of traditional arpeggios written here. 3 notes to a beat. Over here are 4 notes to a beat. And if you play this very fast, there's a big jump if you're using this fingering. When you go from the 3rd finger to the thumb, and even if you're using a different fingering, it's still, that's a 3rd. But that's a jump that sometimes gets noticed, and especially if you're playing very fast. For example, now I'm going to let us have a look at what that might look like. I'm going to record that particular phrase. Here we go. Try it again. Now if we go back and take a look at those notes graphically, you can see that, well, you can see I left out a note. You can also see I made a mistake up here, probably because I'm going too fast, but it gets the point across. Notice that the 3rd note, right where I have to cross over, ends up getting shortened, as it did here. This one, I think I just totally missed it altogether. Next time I'll practice that a little bit more. But you can see the idea, and the traditional the same way. Now you can cover that by holding the sustain pedal, but sometimes it's not very convenient if you're changing chords in the left hand. So I've spent an awful lot of time thinking about arpeggios and how can we make colorful, challenging, or not so challenging, but very exciting arpeggios, but that don't run the risk of that kind of a problem. One way to do that, and I call this overlapping arpeggios, because as you can see, there's an overlapping note. That makes it a lot easier because there's no thumb having to cross under. It's simply taking the place of the pinky finger. Now if I call it double, it simply means that I'm doubling the pattern. I play the pattern twice. And if you look at the bracket up here, it lets you know that those are paired together and they sound identical. So here it comes. And that's a lot easier to play than this. And I'm managing to play all of the notes correctly when I use that in particular. Either one of those. What I like about this, there's a certain amount of forgiveness to it. In other words, if you mess up the first round, you get another shot at it. So I call it the double overlapping. This is another double overlapping, but I'm going to start way down here. There's your double. Why would you want to even use these doubles? One reason is you're trying to fill a bigger space. In this case, let's say you've got an extra bar, you've got 2 measures or 3 measures to fill. So you want to use it double overlapping, but you're going to extend it. So you got to start lower. So we have here it comes in slow motion. Fast motion. Now your listener, even if they're a pianist, some of them are going to wonder, how did he do that? I'd like to see that. Well, you're looking at it right now, and you might want to pause your computer from time to time and even take a photograph of this, and this will help you in your spare time see if you can put some of these alternative arpeggios to work. Then, the more I worked on this, and you probably haven't seen anything in any textbooks that talk about the zigzag arpeggio. I had to come up with a name for it. I've never heard of it. I've never heard of anybody talking about it, but it had to have some kind of name, and that's what I came up with. So the zigzag is one that properly named because it goes up, comes back, goes up, comes back. Slow motion. Notice that? That's probably a little bit easier and certainly more connected because now it might be that if you have smaller hands, you'll find that the overlapping works better for you because there's a little bit of a stretch to this. So we have the double zigzag. And then I like this one. I like because it fits the hand and it's probably easier to play. It's certainly not any harder to play. And I like it because the left hand, which has very little to do, let's do that in slow motion, but notice the accents underneath each of the first notes of a pattern. It's a 4-note pattern. And of course the idea behind arpeggios, they're not random. You have to set up a pattern. That pattern may last for 2 beats. It may last, well, for a whole measure. But this particular pattern gets repeated each time you get to another measure. You're simply an octave higher than when you started. So I like this one because the right hand has time to find its next 3 notes while the left hand is playing its note. And notice I'm hanging on to, instead of, You could do it more staccato if you wanted, but I like the idea that the listener is going to actually hear this melody embellished by these notes. So it's going to sound like this. And if you try that one, test drive it for yourself, you're going to find, you probably will find the two hands zigzag arpeggio to be your favorite, and you probably use it a lot. Some of these, incidentally, will work just as well going uphill as downhill. That, of course, was the overlapping. But with some of them, and we'll run into that when we do another set, I'm going to do another tutorial that includes even different arpeggios than this, but they only work going uphill and they don't work quite as well when you're going downhill. But I would say pretty much everything in set one, you can do it going uphill or down. And it works equally well. This one doesn't work quite as well when you're going downhill. Wonder why that is. Let's find out. It's kind of like the right hand is stepping on the fingers of the left hand, but for one reason or another, it doesn't work quite so well going downhill. Well, you've learned a little bit about arpeggios that you probably didn't know before, and so try some of these out and look for set 2 of tutorials, because we'll be doing that before long. If you find this kind of learning experience to be fun, you like it, we hope that you'll like us, and that you'll subscribe and make any comments that you wish. We read them all. See you around another bend in the road.